Hey everybody, Mr. Regan here, and if you're watching this video, it's because you're looking for help on how to use the grade calculator that you found either in my syllabus or on my Haiku page. Now, before we begin looking at it, a few things. Number one, the grade calculator is a great tool for you guys to monitor your progress with all of your assignments in science class. It's a great tool to help you predict what kind of grades you need to get on different assignments so that you can achieve your overall goals for each quarter. And it's a great tool that you can actually apply to other classes as well. So we're going to look at kind of how to use this tool, what's in the tool, and then its applications moving forward. So hopefully you have it up in front of you. If not, I have an example obviously in front of me. And the first thing you notice is we have 3 columns. Each column represents one of the 3 categories that your assignments will fall under, and one of the 3 categories that will be weighted against your final total grade. So we have our formative assignments, that would be our homework and in our in-class practice. We have our cumulative assignments, those would be our labs and our quizzes. And then we have our summative assignments, that would be our tests and our projects that we take. Now, a few things that we're going to look at is what happens as we input grades into each of these 3 categories, and how does that affect our overall final grade for the quarter. So let's say we start off the year and we have a in-class assignment that we do for a unit. Let's say it's our force in motion assignment. So we're going to put force and motion worksheet in here. So if you notice, I clicked the drop-down menu here to pick what type of assignment. I typed in the name, and then in here, I'm just going to put the number or the percentage that I got on the assignment. So let's say I got an 80% on it. Pretty good. Okay. So after that classwork, we then have an assignment, and let's say we do a lab. Okay. And that lab here was a force and motion lab. Okay. Maybe it was a force and motion game we played. Okay, to help us understand different forces and motion within science. And let's say we got an 87. Pretty good. Okay. We then have another assignment later that week. Maybe it's a homework assignment. And this is a force and motion, let's say survey that you have to take. Let's say you get a 90% on that. We then have a quiz a couple days later, and that's just a force and motion quiz that we take. And let's say you got an 82 on it. And then after that, we have our final summative. Let's say it is a test. And this is the final force and motion test. And let's say you get an 85. So if you notice, I've inputted all the different information into each of the 3 categories based on the name, the type, and obviously the grade percentage that I got. And if you've noticed, as I've put each of these in here, we've had a set of numbers changing as we go, okay? So a few things. Number one, you'll notice there's an average grade. This number right here is an average score of whatever assignments are formative. The average score here is for only the cumulative, and the average score here is for only the summative, okay? Now, below that is the weighted grade. A weighted grade simply means it's going to look at your average grade here and take a certain percentage for your overall grade, a portion of it, okay? So even though I got an 85% average score for my formative assignment, I'm only going to take 10% of that for my final grade. So 10% of 85% is about 9%, okay? Same with the cumulative, okay? I only get to keep 20% of that grade for my final grade for the quarter, okay? So again, 20% of 85 is 17%. And then, of course, the average score of my one assignment here, well, that's just 85%. I get to keep 70% of that average total for my weighted grade, and that would be 60%. So what happens to all these weighted grades? Well, if we scroll down here, you'll notice each of the weighted grades here are total for you. And what the grade calculator is going to do is going to add all of those up. So if I add 9%, if I add 17, if I add 60%, it gives you your final quarterly grade, which is an 85% or a B for the quarter. So that's how the grade calculator works. As you input different assignments into the categories, it's going to allow you to then see what your final quarterly grade will be. So let's talk about what this means. This means that as we complete assignments, you can input them, and you can even play with different assignments and say, okay, what do I need to get on my final test to get a final grade that I want, or vice versa. Now, you can obviously use that as we do each of the different quarters, but at this point, the tool is yours to use. Good luck, and make sure you reach out if you have any questions.